Alex, good to see you again here at the Boodles. Back on the grass, back in London, how are you feeling?
Actually feeling good. It was my second day on grass and I'm pretty impressed that I managed to beat David, even though it's exhibition match, but still. But yeah, I'm feeling great. Always love to come back to London. It's a beautiful city and grass courts is just special, Even if you don't like to play on it, you still manage to like it because it looks so beautiful.
Wimbledon's only around the corner. Obviously the grass is there as a surface, but what makes Wimbledon so special? What excites you about Wimbledon?
Just the atmosphere, the way it's everything made, how beautiful the site is, and it's just very calm in Wimbledon, when you stay outside in the house and then you go there and it's still calm on site sometimes, it's not like other Grand Slams, but it's just beautiful to play, peaceful, and just looking really forward to that.
We're at the halfway stage of the year, halfway stage of the tennis calendar. Where are you at? Where is your game at? And what are your expectations going into Wimbledon?
Actually, I would say that I managed really well the clay season because I had injury at the start of the year on my knee. I had to do some injections and also on my elbow. But now I'm getting back on my level and I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, let's look forward for Wimbledon and then see what's going to happen after.
It looks like one of the favourites going into the tournament will obviously be Carlos Alcaraz.
Yeah.
I'm sure you saw the Roland Garros final.
Yeah, yes.
Can you talk about, from a player's perspective, how high a level was that final, and does it give players like yourself and other players on the tour inspiration? That's the level that's needed.
It was out of the world. If you look at these rallies and the way physically they're ready, it's just insane. The level how they run to their shots on the run and just managing to hit it as powerful as it possible be is just crazy. And of course it gives inspiration, the way they fight, the way Sinner is staying focused, the way Alcaraz can manage ridiculous shots, and it's just great for the sport that we have now these two guys. And everyone was worried if what's going to happen, if Federer, Djokovic and Nadal is going to go, but as we saw in the final, it probably was maybe the best final in the history of tennis.
And Carlos has come from clay to grass at Queen's, winning.
Yeah.
Queen's, looking very good. Again, as a competitor and as a colleague in the sport as well. How highly do you rate Carlos and how he's able to transition from clay to grass?
Yeah, as a player, the sky is the limit. He can manage everything it's possible, and not possible. So, but I really admire him as a human being. The way I watch his documentary and I talked with him, and the way he acts in the locker room, and I think he's just a really, really humble guy who loves his family, and he's just a great person. He has this all the human being character. Just very, very great guy. Comes, always shakes your hand, always says hello. So I admire him for that. Even more that he's such a great champion.
And obviously we're talking about the next generation. Yourself is obviously included with your age. Sinner and Alcaraz perhaps at the top of that. But how important is it that we don't forget Novak Djokovic? He's still playing, and Wimbledon is still a tournament where he can be competitive at. Yeah,
I mean, you cannot cut Novak. He can come any moment and just win a Grand Slam, because his game is still there, and yeah, maybe he gets slower a little bit physically because of the age. I mean, he's already around his 40s, but still, you cannot count him out on any tournament because he manages, like we saw already last year in the Olympics. He played out of this world, so never count him down. He's gonna be very dangerous for Sinner and Alcaraz, even though mentally as well.
Can I just ask you about Jack Draper? I don't know if you've played him yet.
No, but I know him since we were really young.
And no doubt in the last 12 to 18 months you would have seen his rise. He's now up to 4th or 5th in the world. How impressed have you been with his rise? Because especially now Wimbledon, after Andy Murray, now the pressure is going to be on Jack, isn't it? Yeah,
Jack, I mean, for him, the way he moved, it was not a surprise for me, because everyone was calling it, when he's going to manage it to go even like further, but it was not a surprise. The guy is physically unbelievably strong, the way he plays the game, shots wise, serve wise, lefty. He have every tool, to compete with Alcaraz and Sinner as well on any day, but let's see what's going to happen. But he's a high hope, I think, for this Wimbledon, for a big run.
And last question, obviously, tomorrow you'll be coming back to Boodles. What is between now and the first game at Wimbledon. What does that look like for you on and off the court, just to relax and be mentally and physically ready?
Yeah, I mean, to come here and to play is just first of all amazing, you know, the facility and everything, and you're just a bit relaxed. Still, it's not Wimbledon, you know, when you need to get super competitive in some way, but it's really nice to get this relaxed feeling, calm down before, you know, competition, and it's just great. So and then coming to Wimbledon with a good mindset, that's the key, and probably to play here, it's a great decision.
Amazing. Thank you so much.